The Devil's Hour. The house on Blackwood Lane had been abandoned for years. It stood like a silent sentinel, its weather-beaten facade staring blankly at the world through shattered windows. The townsfolk whispered about it, some claiming they had seen figures moving behind the tattered curtains, others swearing they had heard whispers seeping through the cracks in the walls when they passed by on moonless nights. No one dared to enter, not since the disappearances. For years, the house remained empty, untouched, until Evelyn Carter moved to town. She was a journalist drawn by the legends that shrouded Blackwood Lane. A woman of reason and curiosity, Evelyn was determined to uncover the truth behind the chilling tales. She rented a small place near the edge of town and spent her days collecting stories from reluctant locals. "If you value your sanity, miss, stay away from that place," an old bartender warned her one evening. "That house doesn't want visitors." Evelyn smiled politely and took another sip of her drink. She had heard all kinds of superstitions before. The world was full of ghost stories, and she had debunked many. But Blackwood House was different. The fear in the eyes of those who spoke of it was real, raw. That was enough to make her investigate further. It was on the night of October 30th that she decided to step inside. Armed with her camera, voice recorder, and flashlight, she approached the house under a sky choked with storm clouds. The air was thick with the scent of damp earth. The porch creaked beneath her weight, groaning like an old man in pain. As she pushed open the door, a gust of cold air wrapped around her like unseen fingers. The entrance hall stretched before her, littered with broken furniture and debris. Peeling wallpaper curled like dead skin, and the scent of decay clung to the air. She took a cautious step inside, her flashlight cutting through the gloom. Dust particles danced in the beam like spirits. She whispered into her recorder, "I have entered Blackwood House. The structure is unstable, and the air is thick with mildew. There is an unsettling silence." A soft creak sounded behind her. She spun around, heart hammering, but the door was still ajar, revealing only the yawning darkness outside. Just the house settling, she told herself, swallowing the lump in her throat. She moved deeper. The grand staircase loomed ahead, its wooden steps warped with time. To her left, an open doorway led into a parlor. A long, dead fireplace stood against the far wall, its mantle covered in dust. A grand piano sat in the corner, its ivory keys yellowed with age. Then a note played, a single ghostly note. Evelyn froze. Her breath hitched in her throat. The piano stood untouched, yet the note hung in the air, trembling. Her fingers tightened around the flashlight as she stepped closer. "Is someone there?" Her voice barely broke the silence. Nothing. She turned to leave when, from the corner of her eye, she saw movement. A shadow shifting in the reflection of the cracked mirror above the fireplace. She swung the flashlight around, but the room was empty. Cold sweat pricked her skin. She had debunked many hauntings, but this was different. This house, it was watching her. Then the whispers began, faint, barely discernible, like a conversation just out of reach. They drifted through the air, curling around her ears like smoke. She raised her recorder. "I'm hearing voices. No source in sight." As she moved toward the staircase, something brushed against her arm. A cold, fleeting touch. She gasped, whirling around. The air seemed heavier now, charged with something unseen, something waiting. Footsteps sounded above, slow, measured. Evelyn's pulse pounded in her ears. She lifted her flashlight, illuminating the top of the staircase. The shadows shifted, and then she saw it. A figure stood at the landing, tall, gaunt. Its face was obscured by darkness, but its eyes gleamed like wet glass. Then it moved, down the stairs, towards her. Her paralysis shattered. She stumbled backward, nearly dropping her flashlight. She turned and ran, her boots skidding on the dusty floor as she bolted for the door. But it slammed shut before she could reach it, trapped. The whispers grew into an unbearable cacophony, words overlapping, voices overlapping. Some wept, some screamed, others laughed in twisted glee. Then silence, a breath, right at her ear. She turned slowly. Follow for more horror stories.